Alright, hello everyone, hope you're all well, hope you're all staying safe. In today's video, I am once again going to be returning to No Man's Sky and returning to a series which I don't think I've touched since about 2017. I don't know how it's been 3 years since this series existed, but I suppose it's better late than never, isn't it? So today I'm doing another episode of Community Feedback Friday. This series, as I said, I made about 3 years ago, and it was supposed to be a weekly series where I would take the community's comments on No Man's Sky, so features that people would like to see, improvements to the game, basically big speculation from the community, in order to give a little bit of voice to the community as well as some direction for Hello Games if they were to say stumble across these videos. Now, when I previously made Community Feedback Friday, I went about doing it so the comments on that video would be featured in the next video. However, I'm doing things a little bit differently now. So in order to get one of your comments featured in a video, you must join the MZK Discord server, which will be linked in the description, where there is a channel called Community Feedback Friday. Here you can put in your suggestions for what you would like to see in No Man's Sky, and a handful of them will be picked for a video each week. Anyway guys, with all of that said and done, please do sit back and relax. Let's get started. Alright, so first and foremost, we have a suggestion from the user Fatty17, starting off real strong here. Now, this suggestion does involve a story spoiler for No Man's Sky, but I think at this point in time, pretty much everybody knows about it. It's regarding the true origins of the universe. Spoiler alert, universe is a simulation, so let's get into it. So we should have half of the undiscovered systems turned into systems with the old pre-release E3 art style. You know, like the cartoonish thing it had going before the game came out, or more before Next, I guess. I think it'd be cool to have that art style back in some way. I suppose it could be explained by the fact that the universe of No Man's Sky is a simulation, and maybe those planets are some kind of anomalies, which was revealed in the story. Now, this suggestion is very, very good, and believe me, Fatty, I hate to say it, you're definitely not the first person to suggest this, but I am glad that you did. The argument of having E3 style planets in No Man's Sky is pretty much old as the game itself. In fact, it's older than the game itself, because since 2014 we have indeed wanted that original E3 aesthetic, those colourful planets with crazy psychedelic visuals that we really don't have anymore. We are aware that currently the art style of No Man's Sky is catered towards a wider audience, using more realistic lighting and colours. Now, the issue when it comes down to this old aesthetic, and believe me, this has been spoken about a lot before, is the fact that the community is fairly divided on their opinions of this art style. You do have half of the community that really enjoy the current art style, myself included. I don't necessarily think it's bad, but then you also have other people which really like the original cartoony, slightly harsh on the eyes, but definitely more interesting to look at. And I think what Fatty is saying here is very, very good. In order to please both sides of the community, Hello Games should just make some undiscovered systems have that original aesthetic. I don't know how this would be possible in terms of, you know, technicalities. I don't know if this would be easy or hard to have a completely different art style for certain planets, but it would make a great deal of sense. Especially for those that are undiscovered systems. It means that you have the chance of coming across old kind of E3 aesthetic planets, but then also have a great deal of the new modern art style. This is a very, very good suggestion, so thank you for this. Alright, next up we have a comment from Suka. Suka's just always on the Discord server, big up Suka, and he simply put ownable space stations and the ability to customize them. Once again, this is a feature which has been spoken about for a long ass time now. Space stations in general need an overhaul. I think no one in the community would disagree with that statement. All space stations look the same indoors, but they look different on the outside, which is confusing. Space stations are also huge, like you can see how big they are when you use the third person camera in your ship. Like, they're big, but we can only access a very small part of them. The idea of owning a space station has been spoken about for a decent amount of time, and there's a lot of different ideas circulating about how this could work. One of the original ideas which I always heard was the ability to buy abandoned space stations and essentially do them up, renovate them, and potentially run it like a small business. No Man's Sky has a farming system, and it also has a base building system. Base building and farming are probably the most fleshed out areas of the game at this point in time. It pains me to say that, but more effort has been put into base building and farming than it has exploration or procedural generation. In that aspect, it shouldn't be all that hard. We can build a base on a freighter, we can build a base on planets, so why can't we build a base inside of a space station? On top of that, the element of customization would be an interesting touch. Maybe these could also act as some kind of multiplayer hubs or places where you can trade items with other players. We have spoken about a player-run economy since the release of the Beyond update, and I think it would be really cool to have these space stations as like a little business, like a better way of farming, another way to earn money, but most importantly, like a little safe place for you in space. Because we only have bases on planets and in freighters, which aren't all that exciting, I think space stations would be a really nice middle ground. Alright, moving on, we have a comment from Cakester. Again, Cakester, fucking great member of the MZK community. And he put, stronger predators in the wild on planets that actually cause a threat to you would make surviving a little harder and permadeath a lot more nerve-wracking. So I could not agree more with this statement. No Man's Sky predators for the most part are incredibly timid. Even on permadeath, they don't exactly pose that much of a threat, largely due to the AI and the really basic attack behaviors. Predators are all pretty much the same, regardless of biological horrors, which we're not really going to talk about because they're not technically predators, you know, they're more like enemies, they're more like sentinels, you know, they're not procedurally generated, they're a specific model. But in terms of predators, yes, 100%. The thing that always gets me about predators in No Man's Sky is that the AI is so fucking dumb, and I know that animals in general need an AI overhaul. Regardless of if they were improved with Next or Beyond, they're still not fantastic. We need smarter AI, you know, AI like, say for example, The Forest. If any of you have ever played The Forest, then you will know that the cannibals have this incredibly smart AI, whereby if they're outnumbered, they will simply run away. They sometimes watch you from a distance as well and just kind of observe you and make you quite uneasy, and I think No Man's Sky would benefit from this so much. Of course, you can easily just make the predators output more damage, but that's boring. Predators will just run at you, and if you have a decent multi-tool with a bolt caster or a scatter blaster, you can just blow them to pieces instantly. Better AI would make this more interesting. Predators that say live in trees, or they hide in the grass of planets and surprise you. Different behavior would make this more interesting and definitely keep you on your toes. Alright, moving on, we have a comment from Fuelu, or Mindfuhrer as I like to call him, and he put, moving freighters. That is all I ask since we got first frigate concept leaks. I remember when we had all these wild ideas like multi-crew ships where one player would be pilot, the other would take over guns. So yeah, again, moving freighters has been something which has been commented on since basically the game launched. We even saw freighters moving in pre-release No Man's Sky footage, and for whatever reason it is still not in the game. It really can't be that difficult to implement, but I'm probably quite naive saying this considering I'm not a game developer, I'm just a fucking student that makes YouTube videos. And as well, the mention of multi-crew ships, I remember this stuff so well, especially with Beyond. I remember when we knew that No Man's Sky Online was this big part of Beyond, and we were thinking there'd be some kind of guild system or huge ships with different positions that we could man with a load of our friends, you know, someone on a big turret, someone driving, someone on some fucking rockets or something. That never happened, and I really do want to see that happen. Potentially, if we get a combat update this summer, then this could be possible, but yeah, multi-crew ships and moving freighters, most definitely. And finally, we have a comment from Relikes. relics. I'm not too sure how you say it, but they say, I want to see a Viking take down a Sentinel. They talk the talk, but until I see it, I won't believe it. More NPC autonomy. Again, this is a fantastic suggestion. What really bothers me about No Man's Sky is that all of the best parts of the game are written in a text bubble. You never see them. I suppose this would go hand in hand with some kind of AI overhaul. You know, imagine seeing a Viking on a planet and he does literally take down a Sentinel. Maybe a small group of them exploring, they get attacked by Sentinels, they fend them off, you can choose who you back. I suppose it can be compared to when you have a space battle. You know, there's a big freighter getting attacked by pirates, you can side with the freighter or side with the pirates. That would be good on the planet's surface. We have walk-in NPCs now, walk-in NPCs now exist, so if Hello Games could give them some AI that would let them interact with the environment and actually fend for themselves, it would do a great deal for not only immersion in No Man's Sky, but also how fucking cool the game is. Alright guys, I think that just about does it for Community Feedback Friday, episode 4. I think. I honestly could not tell you. As I said, if you guys want to see your suggestions featured in next week's video, then please do join my Discord server and use the specific channel in order to put your suggestions in. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and as always, if you did enjoy, please do feel free to leave a like on the video. Thank you very much for watching. I love you all. Take care.